Have you ever wondered about a time when math was actually cool? No, seriously, a time when brilliant minds weren't just solving for x. They were inventing the very number that makes solving for x possible. Welcome to India's golden age, the Gupta Empire, a period so dazzling it makes your favorite influencers' feed look, well, a little dull. Between the 4th and 6th century CE, while parts of the world were going through some pretty rough times, a dynasty in India was busy creating a powerhouse of culture, science, and prosperity. This wasn't just another kingdom, it was an era that gifted the world some of its most fundamental ideas. And it all started with a guy named, you guessed it, Gupta. Or more formally, Sri Gupta, who kicked things off. But the real party started with his grandson, Chandragupta I. Not to be confused with that other famous Chandragupta from the Mauryan Empire a few centuries earlier. Indian history loves a good sequel. Chandragupta I was a clever guy. He knew that conquering wasn't just about swords and shields, it was also about smart marriages. He married a princess from a powerful clan, and just like that, their combined influence and territory set the stage for an empire. It was his son, Samudragupta, who really took the family business to the next level. This guy was the complete package, a military genius, a poet, a musician. They called him the Napoleon of India, but honestly, Napoleon probably wished he had Samudragupta's artistic flair. Coins from his reign show him playing a veena, an Indian lute. Imagine a world leader today dropping a hit album while also expanding their territory. That was Samudragupta. He conquered vast lands but was also known for his tolerance, often letting local rulers keep their thrones as long as they paid tribute. A pretty savvy CEO, if you ask me. Then came the peak, under Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya. His court was legendary, said to be adorned by the Navarnas, or 9 jewels, a council of the 9 most brilliant minds of the time. These weren't just advisors, they were poets, astronomers, and scholars. During his reign, the empire reached its zenith in terms of wealth, stability, and cultural output. The economy was booming, thanks to thriving trade routes that connected India to Rome, China, and Southeast Asia. Spices, silks, and precious gems flowed out, while gold flowed in. This immense wealth funded the incredible advancements we're about to talk about. Life was good. Cities were clean, the government was efficient, and people felt secure. It was the perfect environment for creativity and innovation to flourish. Now, let's get to the juicy part, the revolution in math and science. Forget your high school math trauma for a second. The Guptas gave us something we use every single day, something so fundamental it's almost invisible, the concept of zero. Before this, writing a number like 102 was a clumsy affair. But Indian mathematicians, most notably a genius named Brahmagupta, defined zero not just as a placeholder, but as a number in its own right, with rules for addition, subtraction, and multiplication. This was a game changer. It unlocked the decimal system and paved the way for algebra, calculus, and eventually, the computer you're watching this on. Mind blown. And they didn't stop at zero. The brilliant astronomer and mathematician Aryabhata proposed that the Earth was a sphere, that it rotated on its own axis, and he calculated the length of a solar year with stunning accuracy to 365.358 days. He was only off by a few minutes. He also explained that lunar and solar eclipses weren't caused by angry gods swallowing the sun, but by the shadows of the earth and moon. All this in the 5th century. While much of the world still thought the Earth was the flat, stationary center of the universe, Aryabhata was doing the cosmic calculations. He was the Neil deGrasse Tyson of his time, but with a better turban. This explosion of intellect wasn't just confined to numbers. The Gupta era was a golden age for literature. This is when the great poet Kalidasa, one of the legendary Nine Jewels, wrote his masterpieces. His play Shakuntala was so beautiful and moving that it became one of the first Indian works translated into European languages, blowing the minds of Western poets centuries later. The period also saw the compilation of major religious and philosophical texts like the Puranas, and the final editing of epic stories like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. These weren't just stories, they were complex explorations of morality, duty, and the human condition that continue to inspire billions today. Universities like Nalanda became world-renowned centers of learning, attracting students and scholars from as far away as China and Persia. It was a true intellectual melting pot. But what good is a brilliant mind if your body is falling apart? The Guptas had that covered too. Ayurvedic medicine, the traditional Indian system of wellness, was systemized and refined. Doctors like Sushruta were pioneers in surgery. The Sushruta Samhita, an ancient text compiled around this time, describes over 300 surgical procedures and 120 surgical instruments. We're talking about complex operations like cataract surgery, plastic surgery, yes. Nose jobs were a thing back then, and even setting broken bones, they emphasized hygiene. And their knowledge of medicinal plants was encyclopedic. This wasn't just guesswork, it was a sophisticated medical system based on observation and a holistic understanding of the body. They were also big on public health, with evidence of free hospitals for both people and, get this, animals. And of course, a golden age has to look golden. The art and architecture of the Gupta period are simply breathtaking. The style is marked by a sense of balance, simplicity, and spiritual serenity. This is when the classic image of the Buddha, with calm, meditative eyes and graceful robes, was perfected. The Ajanta caves, with their vibrant murals depicting tales and daily life, are a stunning testament to the artistic genius of the era. It's like a 1500-year-old Instagram feed painted on rock walls, showing everything from royal courts to bustling markets. Sculptures were carved with incredible realism and grace, moving away from symbolic forms to a more refined, humanistic style. The temples built during this time, often with intricate carvings and towering spires, laid the foundation for Indian temple architecture for centuries to come. But like all good things, the Gupta party had to come to an end. After the reign of Chandragupta II, a series of weaker rulers and internal conflicts started to chip away at the empire's foundations. The final blow came from the north. Invasions by the Hunas, or White Huns, drained the empire's resources and fractured its unity. By the middle of the 6th century, the great Gupta Empire had crumbled into a collection of smaller, warring kingdoms. The Golden Age was over. But its legacy, oh, that's eternal. The Gupta Empire wasn't just a political entity, it was a cultural supernova. Its innovations in mathematics, particularly the number zero, literally set the course for modern science and technology. Its literature and philosophy continue to shape thought. Its art created a standard of beauty and grace that influenced all of Asia. The Guptas proved that a society that values knowledge, art, and stability can achieve incredible things. They didn't just build an empire of land, they built an empire of ideas. And those are the empires that truly never fall. So the next time you type a zero on your keyboard, or look up at the stars and marvel at the universe, or even just appreciate a beautiful piece of art, give a little nod to the Gupta Empire. A dazzling golden age that truly changed the world. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from our amazing history. See you next time.